take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays this afternoon. Kevin Pillar, top of the order. Ezequiel Carrera is riding a 5-game hit streak. During that hit streak, he's 7 for 19 with a triple and a couple of RBIs. And then down in the 8th spot, Ryan Goen, since he's gotten the chance to play every day, filling in for Troy Tulowitzki's, put together a 4-game hit streak, 5 hits, a home run, and a couple of RBIs, and they'll take on the hard-throwing right-hander, Carlos Martinez.
And he's a good one. He opened the year as the Cardinals' #1 starter, but now he's the only member of the starting rotation without a win. He makes his team-leading 5th start of the season. The Jays catch him at the right time. He's given up 12 earned runs with 11 walks over his last 3 starts. This is his 2nd career appearance versus the Blue Jays, his 1st start against Toronto. But he has pitched very well in interleague, a 162 earned run average, 4th lowest mark in the Major League history since 2014. He's a tough one.
He is set. Here's the first pitch of the ballgame. It's in there for a strike, and we are underway. Kevin Pillar, batting .296 for the season. Recently had an 11-game hit streak that was snapped on Monday in Anaheim. Pillar had a big triple in the ball game in the 7th inning. That was the hit that scored Chris Coughlin on that dramatic dive over Yadi Molina. Ground ball to third. Jerko has it. 1 away. Defensively, let's take a look at the Cardinals. It has been a disappointing start to their season in the field. They have committed 4 errors in the first game of this series. Jose Martinez gets a start in left field. Fowler and Piscotty in center and right. Jed Jerko's at third base. Diaz and Wong up the middle. Matt Carpenter back after serving a 1-game suspension. He's at first, and the Gold Glover Yadi Molina will do the catching for Martinez.
And how bad has it been? They are last in the National League in fielding percentage. 19 errors. The 4th and final error was made by that guy right there. Aledmys Diaz, the shortstop. An error that led to the Blue Jays' final decisive run in that win against the Cardinals.
Here is Carrera. He hits it deep to center field. Fowler on the run, backing up now. Just a couple of strides on the warning track. 2 up, 2 down for Martinez.
Well, let's take a little closer look at this afternoon's starter, Carlos Martinez, and what does he feature? He's got a great fastball, #1. He can ride it up there in the upper 90s if he wants to, and he uses it 54% of the time. For him, though, the bread and butter pitch for him is the slider. He uses it 25% of the time. Think Chris Archer when you watch Carlos Martinez today, or excuse me, 20% of the changeups. Think of Archer with that hard slider that he gets a lot of strikeouts with when he throws it.
Bautista swings on the first pitch and drops it in front of the right fielder Piscotty for a 2-out base hit. Jose is aboard.
Like to see this a little bit more often from the Blue Jay hitters. Be aggressive early in the count. A lot of times that first fastball you get might be the best pitch of the at-bat. Jose doesn't waste any time, puts it in right field for his first hit.
So Justin Smoak hitting cleanup. Blue Jays making some adjustments with their injuries and playing in interleague games here. So Smokey moves up to the 4th spot, batting .267. 3 homers and 9 RBIs for the big first baseman. He takes the first pitch, fastball for a strike. Off-speed pitch. Martinez ahead 0-2 quickly.
Nasty there is the changeup right there. He'll throw more changeups to left-handed batters, and it's a little bit different than Marco Estrada's changeup. Marco stays on line. Martinez, his changeup fades down and away to lefties.
0-2. Upstairs for a ball. Bautista doesn't look like he wants to run at first. Of course, Molina has a strong arm. He has caught 4 of 12 so far this season. Foul back. There's that good fastball.
Yeah, he's just getting loosened up. He can uncork it at 97, 98 if he wants to. He's just trying to feel his way through this first inning with that fastball. It's a great combination. Fastball, slider, changeup.
There's that slider and another foul into the seats.
Well, when we talk about velocity, I told you he can run it up there. He's averaging almost 96 miles an hour with his fastball, which places him third in the National League. Noah Syndergaard averages 98. He's in the class all by himself. And there's Garrett Cole and Steven Strasburg rounding out the top four. Just 25 years old. He's got a bright future.
Strike three called. Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire, rings up smoke. So the Blue Jays get a 2-out single. They leave a base runner. When we come back, Matt Latos will take the mound for the Blue Jays. Season, as we mentioned, not playing very well in the field. Top of the order, Dexter Fowler in his first season with the Cardinals. He's swinging the bat well over his last 6 games, hitting over 300 with a pair of home runs, 4 RBIs, but he's struck out 7 times. How about this matchup today? Yadier Molina, the great catcher of the Cardinals. He has hit well against Matt Latos, the Blue Jays starter. 12 for 34 with a home run and 5 RBIs, but he too has 6 strikeouts. That's been a problem for St. Louis this season.
Too many strikeouts. They will go up against Matt Latos. Matt picked up a no decision Friday in his first start for the Blue Jays. That was against the Angels. He had to pitch around 10 base runners in his 5 innings of work. 6 hits, 3 walks, and a hit batter. That was a game that the Blue Jays would eventually win in 13 innings. And you talk about experience. Matt Latos has faced the Cardinals 13 times in his career. He's 5-6 with an ERA of about 5.5 versus the Cardinals.
He has not fared well in his ballpark. He has a 2-4 record in 7 career starts here at Busch with his ERA over 7.5. So he's looking for a different outcome here today. Certainly wants to set the tone for this split doubleheader for the Blue Jays. Dexter Fowler, the leadoff man. Latos misses with the first pitch up and away. Fowler batting just 184, but he's starting to turn things around. He's 2 for 22 going head-to-head with Matt Latos. Of course, last season he was with the Chicago Cubs, part of that World Series championship ball club.
And Matt has spent some time in the National League with the Reds, San Diego, and Miami, so they know all about him. John Gibbons was talking about him before today's ball game. Says he reminds him a lot of Liriano. Latos. The ball strike ratio isn't as good as they need it to be. He needs a few more strikes to stay in the game a lot longer. But he says he's been here before. He's a veteran. He knows how to make adjustments during the game.
He's only 29 years old, and he's had problems with bone chips in his elbow, and he's had some big years with the San Diego Padres.
He was a 14-game winner a year with the Reds.
Bounces that slider in the dirt. Full count to the leadoff man, Dexter Fowler. Ledmus Diaz, the shortstop, is on deck. Fowler had the game-tying hit for the Cardinals in the 9th, an infield single on Tuesday. Ground ball, Smoke goes after it. Latos is there and plenty of time. 1 away. For the Blue Jays, the defense behind Matt Latos here this afternoon in game 1. In the outfield, it's Carrera, Pilar, and Bautista. On the infield, Chris Coghlan makes his 6th start at third base. Goins and Travis up the middle. Smoke has committed just 1 error in 16 starts, and Russell Martin doing the catching in game 1 for Matt Latos.
Jose Bautista's playing a nice right field, isn't he? He's got 3 outfield assists already. That's #1 in the American League for right fielders. He's throwing better. He's accurate. It's coming out of his hand nicely. He's playing a good right field. He's made a couple of very nice plays already on this road trip.
His arm seems to be pretty strong, as he has been battling with some shoulder problems the last couple of years, but this year it's much better. He was the shortstop. Diaz hits a fly ball into shallow left. Backing up is the shortstop Goins. He makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. So Matt Latos, he'd love to be efficient here. And as we play this doubleheader, obviously both managers thinking about saving as many relief innings as possible for game 2. Of course, you're not going to sacrifice game 1 in an effort just to win game 2, but you'd love your starter in game 1 to give you a deep outing.
Go deep, do everything you can to win game 2, because reinforcements are on the way for game 2. The Blue Jays have called up Danny Barnes, and he will be the 26th man, if you will, for game 2, but he's only available for this evening's game.
Here is Matt Carpenter. He was suspended for a game and served that suspension on Tuesday. He was suspended for an altercation he had with an umpire, and he bumped the umpire, so he was given a 1-game suspension and did not appeal.
He was in the original lineup on Tuesday. We all put our lineups in, and all of a sudden around 4:15 that afternoon they said he'd been suspended. He's not going to appeal. Did you happen to see the play at all? I don't remember him really bumping the umpire.
He hit him with his hat, and that was the problem.
Oh, okay. Hit him with his hat.
Yeah, it just like his beak touched the umpire's cap, and that was the problem why he was suspended. They need his bat in this interleague series. Matt Carpenter leads active players in interleague batting average, hitting .337 in interleague play. 2-1, 2 outs. Terrific strike there from Latos. Here's the situation on Sunday, the incident that led to his suspension.
Couple of strikes. The last one right there, strike 3. Not real happy with that. Struggling just a little bit. I guess there's the beaking right there. I think that was John Tumpane behind the dish.
2 minutes for beaking. So he served that 1-game suspension, and he's truly one of the better hitters, and they can ill afford to have him out of the lineup very long. He has faced Latos in the past. There's Jed Jerko, who's on deck with 2 outs. 3-2 pitch in the dirt. A 2-out walk issued to Carpenter. Jed Jerko, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. A year ago, he had 30 home runs for the Cardinals. He had a 3-hit game here on Tuesday. RBI single in the first, double in the fourth, and had a single in the 8th.
He'll hit the ball all over the ballpark. That's why the Blue Jays are playing him straight up.
One hopper to the shortstop. They go to second for the force out, and that'll do it. The 2-out walk does not factor in. We've played an inning here in St. Louis, no score. Batting order today, and the reason he's moved up, he's starting to swing the bat a little bit better.
Well, look at the numbers through the first 8 games. Not very good, not a very good average, the whole thing. But over his last 8 games, he's hitting .300. And when you talk to him, you can just tell that he's feeling better. You watch him, he's running better. He says his body feels good. You can see the swing. He's on a lot more pitches. I was in there today about 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning in the clubhouse, and there was Russell sitting at the desk there with the video, taking a look at Carlos Martinez. So he's going to put his homework in. He's going to put his work in to get ready for ball games against pitchers that he's not real sure of. He's in a good place right now, and that's why he's going to be playing every day.
Goes after the first pitch and fouls it straight back. Russell did not get a hit this season until his 7th game. It's a real slow start for him, but he continued to work hard, and things are starting to turn around for him. Now he's starting his 17th game of the season.
Still got to do what got you here, right? Put your time in. Blue Jays did not hit on the field today. Neither team hit on the field this morning before the game. They took their cuts in the cage. Russell was out here early, just getting a feel for home plate, visualizing.
It's this ball deep to center. Fowler is on the run at the track, looking up. Goodbye, home run. Russell Martin, whatever he visualized this morning, came through for him in his first AB. Home run number 3 for the Blue Jays catcher.
After he looked at the video of Martinez and his swing. He came out here and stood at home plate, and I know he was just visualizing what it's going to be like facing Carlos Martinez this afternoon, and it worked. He's always at his best when he's hitting the ball hard to right center field. He got a fastball out over the plate, put a charge into that one.
Well, Russell, something else, man. He came out here early by himself, stood at home plate, got a good image of Carlos Martinez watching video, and then put it to good use. A 2-strike home run.
Fastball missed his spot right down the middle. Tell you what, you can break it down right after you get to first base. That is a long way out there in right center.
Chris Coughlin hits one to short. He's thrown out, one away. For Russell Martin, his home run was measured at 419 feet. This is a big yard. You hit a ball to center field and you don't assume that it's going to go out, but Russell gave it a ride for home run number 3. What a way to start the day. Blue Jays out to an early lead. Devin Travis. He takes the first pitch strike. Devin came into the game as a defensive replacement on Tuesday. He did not start that game. Darwin Barney started it at second base.
You know, it's not just Russell who seems to be hitting the ball a little bit better over the last week, 10 days or so. I got to count Devin Travis as one of those guys. Blue Jays are starting to hit more home runs. That slider slipped. Travis seems to be hitting the ball with a little bit more authority, hitting the ball hard. He hit his first home run in Anaheim.
Two and two now to Devin Travis. Fouled it back. Hit that one off Molina and caught him on the left kneecap. So he's going to try to walk off the effects of that foul tip.
He got one of those the other day on Tuesday right off of his knee. That one looked like it was off the foot. And he goes down. He's old school. This guy, he doesn't need any help. He's ready to go. Look at him. The umpire's giving him a chance to shake it off, and he's back there saying, let's go.
Yachty says he's okay. Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire, giving him plenty of time to regroup, and Molina's already in set. Another look at right off the toe. Travis swings and misses that inside fastball. 2 away, 2 strikeouts for Martinez.
Martinez is an interesting guy. He's got great stuff. I mentioned the second strikeout. He wanted to go down and away, but it's up and in. And finishes off Travis. He had a crazy game a couple of starts ago where he had 11 strikeouts and 8 walks. He did all that in just 5 1/3 innings. 8 walks.
Ryan Goins had a nice little run here lately. He's got a 4-game hit streak. Bouncing ball up the middle. Wong can't make the play. Well, there's another example of the Cardinals not playing like the Cardinals. It's another error charged to St. Louis. They made 4 errors on Tuesday night. That's a first error of the ball game, and that is a routine play a major league has got to make.
And every one of those errors was a result. The Blue Jays ended up scoring a run because of that. That's 20 errors now. They have the worst fielding percentage in the National League. Brewers and Pirates have now been tied with the Cardinals at 20. And that's not the Cardinal way of playing baseball. They are normally very sure-handed and do a lot of good things defensively. Tell you what that error does. Matt Latos gets to hit this inning. He doesn't lead off next inning.
Yeah, it gets the pitcher's spot out of the way. Now Latos, he's a former National Leaguer, so he's got a lot of at-bats, 324 at-bats and 4 home runs. He can swing the bat. Hits this one toward third. Jerko bare hands and throws him out. But the Blue Jays, they take an early lead. Russell Martin with 2 strikes hits a deep home run to center field. His 3rd of the season, the 8th for the Blue Jays on this road trip.
Scott Trade Center. A number of the Blue Jays took advantage of their off night, and they went to that game, and they waited half an hour afterward just to get a chance to say hi to Subban. You see Russell Martin there, you see Jose Bautista there. It was Jared Saltalamacchia who said, oh, well, yeah, I've been to hockey games before, but in the postseason, there's no fighting. I'm not a big fan of no fighting in the playoffs. So Russ Martin gets up to bat. Earlier in this game, he hits the home run, and who does Russ say hi to? What's up, fellas? What's up, PK? 2 guys with Montreal connections exchanging pleasantries, fellas.
Well, and PK obviously was born in Toronto just like Russell, so they had a connection in that regard too. PK in his first season with the Nashville Predators got a chance to see Russell go deep here in St. Louis.
I love that. You know, when athletes cross over like that, here are the hockey guys at the game, and Russell hits a home run for him and then acknowledges them. How'd they get those seats? That's what I want to know. Those are some tremendous seats.
That's only the common courtesy. The Blue Jays got a chance to see the game, and that's how they got those seats. That's Mike Shaw.
That's Mike Shaw, the traveling secretary for the Blue Jays, saying hello to some of the guys.
So all of that is pretty good for the Blue Jays, and there's some pretty good mojo going on at the ballpark this afternoon. Matt Latos, he took a long time to walk back to the dugout after he sprinted up the first baseline, and oftentimes we've seen pitchers in these interleague games come out after sprinting around the bases or getting on base, having a little bit of a time adjusting. We'll keep an eye on that. Stephen Piscotty, the right fielder.
Well, you know what he did? He did the right thing, and he took his time. He is not very familiar with sprinting up the line like that as a hitter. So you catch your breath just a little bit. He walked all the way back into the dugout, got his stuff, and took his time and got loose.
Two and 0 count to Piscotty. Well, the Blue Jays have really had a problem putting up shutdown innings after they score. That happened to them all game long on Tuesday night. Each time they took the lead, 3 times the Cardinals came back in the bottom half of that inning and scored. So it's interesting now for Latos to try to put up a 0 here after the Russell Martin home run top half of the inning. Two and 2. The Blue Jays, they have the highest percentage of runs allowed in half innings after they score. 42.5% of their runs allowed have come after they have scored. So you've got to have a shutdown inning.
You know, and it's about confidence too. You start to get a little momentum. You score a run or 2 runs. You hate to give it right back. You take the lead, you want to get back into that dugout as soon as possible to keep those bats going. It's just a good feeling.
That ball is drilled to left field. Carrera's on the run. He gets there and makes the catch. Piscotty hit it hard, but Carrera ran it down on the warning track in left center.
You know what an outfielder can do? They can play the count against the batter. Fastball count to a home run hitter, so you play just a little bit deeper to take away hits like this, and Carrera does it. Moves back and hauls that one in right at the wall in left center field. Matt Latos is asking Russell Martin, said, you know what, I missed my spot. That one was about a belt-high fastball.
Yadier Molina, we mentioned he has hit Latos well throughout his career. Molina is 12 for 34 against Matt Latos, including a home run. The home run came in Cincinnati against the Reds while Latos was pitching there. That was back in 2012. Ball and a strike. This is going to get down. Carrera trying to cut it off, but he won't. It's all the way up against the wall, and Molina continues to put up big numbers against Matt Latos. That's his 13th hit in 35 at-bats.
Another extra base hit, third double of the season for Molina. Breaking ball, he stays back just long enough. He had some good at-bats here on Tuesday. Locked in as he gets himself into scoring position with that double to left field. There are just certain pitchers you feel comfortable with, and you just have to look at the numbers.
Molina was 2 for 5 Tuesday night with an RBI. That extends his hit streak to 6 straight. So here is Jose Martinez. He gets to start in left field. Martinez had a 2-run home run in the 7th. And that tied the game at 4-4. His first big league home run. Off the plate inside.
That was a pinch hit home run for Martinez. Came off the bench. He had the good and the bad on Tuesday. Hit the home run that we were just talking about to tie it up, and then dropped the ball in the 11th inning to allow Marcus Stroman to score when he was inserted at first base. Should have come off the bag and made the catch. Tried to keep his foot on the bag, just couldn't stretch far enough. It was off his glove.
A ball and no strikes. Now it's 1-1. Jose Martinez comes from a former major league player. He's the son of Carlos Martinez, who played with the White Sox and the Indians. First major league home run against the Jays. In fact, his father Carlos hit his first major league home run against the Blue Jays as well. Quite a connection.
Very similar hitters. Tall and lanky. They've got long arms. That's why he can stay off the plate. You can see he's off of home plate with those long arms. He can still reach that outside pitch. The home run that he hit was a pitch that was away from him, and he hit it to right field.
Matt Latos making the start here in game 1, his second start with the Blue Jays.
Another fastball right there, 2-2. Here's the pitch. Ball that was away, and he dumps it into the bullpen of the Cardinals. It's a good feeling. Rounding the bases with the first big league home run.
That was the third time in that game on Tuesday that the Cardinals had come back and tied it up. 2-2, 1 out. Molina at second base. Martinez fouls this one into the seats. Russell Martin has given the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead with his third home run of the season. The 8th home run the Blue Jays have hit on this road trip. That's a good sign. There goes Molina. Swung on and missed. The throw to third, not in time. Yadier Molina just got a walking lead off the bag. That's his first stolen base of the season. On the pitch, Martinez strikes out.
in his first attempt. He stole that one off of Matt Latos. He was gauging him that whole at bat. Latos gave him one look and then a long look home, and that told Molina that he could take off. And he steals it easily. That's a heads-up play right there. That's a veteran understanding what Matt Latos is doing out on that mound.
He picks up an extra 90 feet. There are 2 outs now for the number 8 hitter, Colton Wong. Wong charged with an error already this afternoon.
You know, you might say, okay, what's the big deal about scoring or stealing to get to third base? Well, it puts a little bit more pressure on that infield, that you have to field the ball cleanly. There's so many more different ways you can score from third base than you can from second base. It's not a guarantee that even if he's at second base and there's a base hit into the outfield that he was going to score. So a very heads-up play by Molina.
Yeah, you get a tough ball on the infield. You can't make the play at first. The run comes in to score, lots of things. And whenever you have a chance to gain 90 feet, you're generally going to take it. Borderline pitch upstairs. It's 2-0 now to Colton Wong. Remember, we're in the interleague play, so the pitcher is on deck. You have a little luxury of pitching around the 8 hitter. That's why I think hitting 8th in the National League is as tough as anybody.
It's so tough. You're not going to get anything to hit, especially in this situation here. This looks like one of those intentional walks. They should just go ahead and put them on, and I think they are.
They just did. Yep. John Gibbons just said, you know what, I want to walk him, so there will be no pitch, and the intentional pass has been given to Colton Wong, and that'll bring the pitcher to the plate. Carlos Martinez, the pitcher so far this season, 0 for 6. So you take a shot with the pitcher with 2 outs and try to end the inning.
Well, before we do, we're going to have a meeting. Looks like Russell has a message. He wants to talk to both Matt Latos and Ryan Goins. I don't think they would double steal in this situation. They don't have the proper runners or the batter at the plate. But he has a definite message he wanted to talk to his shortstop and pitcher about.
DeMarlo Hale does a great job of assessing the running game for their opponents, and you can see that DeMarlo's giving Russell signs right now. Remember, this guy is anxious to hit, so be careful on this first pitch. I don't care if he is a pitcher. 2 outs. Swinging at the first pitch. Devin Travis calls for it, backing up into the outfield, and that'll do it. So the intentional walk puts the second runner on. Martinez pops out on the first pitch. The Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead for the sports fans, no matter where you are. We are here in St. Louis, and the clouds are starting to open up. Sunshine's coming out. That's a good thing. It was a nasty day here yesterday, and they called the game very early, and the forecast was right on the money for a change.
For a change. Supposed to end at 4 o'clock in the morning. I guess it did. I was up. And then the sunshine.
You were up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
I was up at 4 o'clock. Couldn't sleep.
Wow.
I was excited about this doubleheader. Wanted to get to the ballpark.
Okay. Kevin Pillar, the leadoff man, waves at that first pitch, something we haven't seen a lot from Kevin.
Well, he made up his mind that he was going to swing. Coming from the on-deck circle, getting into that batter's box, he said, I'm guessing fastball. Martinez crossed him up with a slider. That was a better take right there.
Got out in front of that one and hits it into the second deck, way foul down the left side. Well, Kevin Pillar has gotten off to a good start this season. We mentioned he came into this game with a .296 batting average. Fouls that one off. Kevin with 5 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, and he has always wanted to be the leadoff guy, and he's showing signs that he might be their answer.
Well, he shows a lot more discipline this year. We're seeing it. Occasionally he'll go outside of the strike zone and swing at pitches. But he's showing a lot more discipline, seeing his share of pitches. Everybody says, well, you need to have an on-base percentage and you got to walk. You don't walk enough. Forget that. If you can hit, doesn't matter.
3 strikeouts for Martinez.
The cars change, the fandom doesn't. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and proud fan since 1977.
Carlos Martinez, his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. That's a milestone strikeout for him. That's strikeout number 500 in his career for the 25-year-old. That's bunted just foul at home plate, and Carrera caught a break that it was foul because Molina was all over that.
I think that's a first of many for Carlos Martinez. 500. He's going to get to 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 if he stays healthy. He's just 25 years old. He's their #1 pitcher. He's their ace. They just haven't been able to score any runs for him. That's why his record is what it is. And he's had a bad outing here or there. That's jumped the ERA up there, but this guy's tough.
Bunts through that off-speed pitch. It's 1-2. Guerrero flying out to center field his first time up. Well, it's always important. You play a doubleheader, you want to win the first one. Then you're playing with house money in game 2. Breaking ball, strike 3 call. 2 away. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Cespedes was off to a good start, and that's not good news. And guys are dropping like flies.
Yeah. He recently missed a few games with a hamstring injury, so it looks like he came back just a little bit too quickly. This is on the heels of Noah Syndergaard missing the start today.
Mitch Haniger of the Mariners just went on the DL after a great start with the bat. Of course, the Blue Jays, they've got 8 guys on the DL, including their left side of the infield, Donaldson and Tulowitzki, who they really need back. Bautista drills it into left field. Jose is 2 for 2.
He stayed on that breaking ball nicely. Martinez looks like he's starting to get his slider back, but Jose stayed right on it. Didn't open up too quickly. Watch how compact that swing is. That's all about timing right there and seeing the ball. And his first 2 at bats today, he's 2 for 2. He's seen the ball.
Justin Smoke got called out on a fastball his first time up for strike 3. He goes after the first pitch and hits it into right. Bautista is smart to take the turn. Piscotty will lob it back in. Jose goes first to third as Smoke picks up his first hit of the afternoon, a 2-out single.
A little 2-out lightning for the Blue Jays today in this inning. Bautista now Smoke. Smokey's not waiting around at all. You got a runner on base. You got a chance to drive in a run. Pitch out over the plate. Nice job for Bautista to go first to third. Now you get the hot-hitting Russell Martin with a runner on base.
You know what? You start to look at Smoke the way he's swinging the bat. For Bautista, that's his 3rd multi-hit game on this road trip. He had 2 hits on Friday in Anaheim, had 2 more Monday night, and now he's already added 2 here this afternoon. Good things about to happen for Bautista.
He had a multi-hit game. Game 1 in this series.
Russell Martin homered his first time up. Right on the outside corner with that 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Told you he can run it up there. He can reach back for a little something extra. I don't know if Russell was looking for a slider there, but he threw the fastball by him. Now he's got to expand just a little bit.
2 strikes again. Russell's home run came with a 2-strike count. Ground ball. Diaz at short will go to second for the force out. The Blue Jays threaten but can't cash in. A couple of 2-out singles and they strand a pair. We go to the bottom of the 3rd here in St. Louis. 1-0 Jays.
A holding pattern 3 or 4 more days before he resumes throwing. Aaron Sanchez, meanwhile, did throw this morning, albeit on flat ground. The plan with Sanchez now is that he throws a side session off the mound tomorrow at Rogers Center without a bandage. If it all goes well, he could start Sunday against Tampa. Meanwhile, Troy Tulowitzki, he is back in Toronto. He is swinging, but not running quite yet. Guys?
Thank you very much, Arash. And obviously, you have those key players on your DL. You need them back. So it's imperative now that the active players on this 25-man roster scratch and claw, do whatever you can to close the gap on 500. See if you can keep your head above water until you get those 4 players back. Those are key players. They need them back.
Very key. Starting pitching, and then of course your whole left side of your infield. A lot of offense missing right now for the Blue Jays. So you got to figure out ways to score runs and to win ball games. If Sanchez can go on Sunday, Marco Estrada would be pushed back to Monday. That would be against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium.
So with Bautista getting 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats this afternoon, a 3rd multi-hit game of this road trip, that's a real positive sign. Matt Latos hasn't thrown a first pitch strike yet in this game, and there's one. He gets a pop-up. Pilar, the center fielder, calling for it, gets there, and he gets Dexter Fowler on 1 pitch. That's the first pitch strike of the afternoon for Matt Latos, and he gets an out.
Well, his pitch count is up there already. It's just the 3rd inning. I told you that he pitched around 10 base runners in 5 innings in his last start. Blue Jays are hoping for 5. Would love to see 6 innings today from Latos. It'll make it a lot easier on that bullpen.
There's another strike. 2 in a row for Latos. First pitch strikes. This is Aledmys Diaz, who popped out to the shortstop his first time up. Left field, Carrera's got a bead on it, moving to his right. 2 quick outs for Latos here in the 3rd.
That's what you love to see right there. Attack the strike zone. Make them hit their way on.
Well, Matt Latos is a veteran, and we talk about the significance of having that depth in the minor leagues. The Blue Jays were fortunate last year. They used just 7 starting pitchers all season long. With Latos and Casey Lawrence making starts already, that gets them to 7 early in the season.
You know what was impressive about that last year, the 7? The extra 2, none of them was out of necessity. It was because they had been playing a lot of games in a row. I think they were playing 16, 18 games in a row, and they brought up Drew Hutchison to make a couple of spot starts. Then they traded for Liriano, and Francisco made some starts late in the game, or late in the season. So not out of necessity. Already this year, they've had to bring up 2 of those starters because of injury.
So the Blue Jays did a good job of making sure they had some depth in AAA, and they have called upon that depth early on. Matt Carpenter goes after it, pops it up. Goins, the shortstop, on the outfield grass. Quick inning for Matt Latos. 3 up, 3 down. 3 first pitch strikes in the inning. And this crowd is all about the Cardinals. They have done a great job building this beautiful ballpark. It opened in 2006, and they have packed the place.
The sight lines here are incredible, and from what we hear from our crew, that baseball village is as nice as it gets in left field.
Chris Coughlin starting at third base, his 6th start at third base. Filling in for Josh Donaldson, and I had a chance to visit with Ross Atkins today, talking about Donaldson, and said he's progressing well, but there's still no hard and fast timeline for his return. But there aren't many clubs that could play without their former MVP, and then they take in the fact that Troy Tulowitzki's out as well.
Yeah, not too many teams can lose the left side of the infield and survive, but the Blue Jays are trying to do that.
Another strikeout for Martinez. That's his 5th already.
Most strikeouts per 9 innings, minimum of 4 start. He is 3rd in all of baseball behind Danny Salazar and Chris Sale. He averages about 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. He can do it with the fastball, the slider, great changeup. His fastball's got some movement on it.
Devin Travis was a strikeout victim in the 2nd.
Martinez works quickly too. I mean, he doesn't stray too far from that pitching rubber after each pitch.
I tell you what, if I were like Martinez, I'd work quickly too.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. Think of the pressure that you're putting on that hitter. He's trying to get his timing down and his thoughts. He doesn't give him a chance to do that.
Now, he doesn't stray too far, as you mentioned, and it's really a good way to approach things if you're a pitcher. Keep pressure on the hitter, and the hitter's looking out there and say, man, he's already to pitch to me. High breaking ball. That's 6 strikeouts now. First 2 batters here in the 4th. Gone down swinging.
Last year he averaged 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. This year he has jumped it up to 12.3. There's Salazar, Sale, and Jacob deGrom are on that list. Lance McCullers is just outside of deGrom. He is getting better as a young player. Told you, he's just 25 years old. He's just finding his way in the big leagues. He's been around for a couple of years.
Took over as a starter in 2015. He worked out of the bullpen and did a heck of a job pitching out of the pen in 2014. Made 57 appearances. And then he had 29 starts in 2015, 31 last year when he put up 16 wins.
Baseball, there's a term, it's called loose arm. This guy's got a loose arm.
Everybody's trying to figure out how to solve Carlos Martinez, the hitting coach, Brooke Jacoby. They were all locked in on Carlos Martinez on the mound. 1-2 pitch to Goins. Martinez strikes out the side. Good fastball upstairs, pushing 100 miles an hour. Has always been a hotbed for baseball, going back to the early days of the Cardinals with the gas out gang, Eno Slaughter, Frankie Frisch, Dizzy Dean. Then later on, Stan Musial came aboard, and then the great teams they had in the 60s. Red Schoendienst was the second baseman for a while. Later on became the great manager, Jack Buck, the Hall of Fame announcer, Stan Musial. MVP in the outfield, MVP at first base, Tony La Russa, Ken Boyer. The names go on and on. First pitch swinging, that's Jed Jerko. He pops it in the air to right. Bautista's there. 4 straight batters now that Matt Latos has thrown first pitch strikes to, and he only needed 6 pitches in the 3rd inning to retire the side.
I think the Cardinals might have picked up that he was throwing a lot of pitches and that he was going to try and jump ahead of them early here in the next couple of innings.
Yeah, he did not throw a first pitch strike first time through the batting order, and then he came out pounding the strikes on 4 straight now. Stephen Piscotty, the right fielder for St. Louis. Another first pitch strike. That is such a great way to pitch, and you have such an advantage if you're a pitcher throwing that first pitch strike. Really puts a lot of doubt in the hitter's mind. Okay, now I got to be defensive.
Well, you get those types of swings right there when it's 0-1. You can expand just a little bit. You can throw a slider. And Piscotty was taking that first pitch, I think. After Jerko popped up on the first pitch and made it out, I think he was going to take that pitch no matter what. He just bluffed a bunt just to put that in the mind.
One and two. Now the count is even at 2-2. Piscotty had a pair of doubles Tuesday night. He came into that ball game with just one double. He's the Cardinals team leader in RBIs at 9. Now the count is full. From 0-2 to 3-2.
Just lay it off that slider. That's all he's doing. Threw him 3 in a row.
Yadi Molina's on deck. He's already doubled this afternoon. He loses him. Latos walks Piscotty with one out. He had him 0-2.
He's not real happy with that last call. He was looking at it. Brian O'Norum was asking him where that pitch was, and now he's taking a long walk behind the mound just to clear his mind.
Yadier Molina doubled off of Latos his first time up. Molina has more hits against Latos than any hitter he's faced. 13 hits now.
He might be hard charging on this first pitch too after 4 straight balls out of the strike zone.
Misses with the first pitch. That snaps a streak of 5 straight first pitch strikes for Latos.
He needs to do that.
The Cardinals bounced into 2 double plays on Tuesday, and that's an exception because they had been pretty good at not grounding into double plays. They came into that game Tuesday having grounded into just 9 ground ball double plays all season.
Well, he's got a good guy at the plate if he can get the ball on the ground. John Gibbons trying to figure out if they want to see this again. They made a change on their video replay coach back in the clubhouse. Sal Butera is back with the ball club, and he is handling those duties. They wanted to check to see if he was out over there at first base.
Smoke came out of the tag showing the umpire the glove as just to say I got him, but Blue Jays choose not to ask for the review. Watch Smoke's reaction showing the umpire, hey man, I got him. 1-0. Now it's 2-0. 6 straight balls thrown by Latos, and he's not happy with the strike zone.
He's not happy with himself, and he's not happy with the strike zone. After he lost Piscotty, he was upset with himself. He took a walk behind the mound, and now he's missed with his first 2 pitches here, and you can see him get that ball back. He's snapping that ball back from Russell Martin.
Molina fouls it out of play. We mentioned Latos and Molina. They've gone at one another quite a bit. This is the 36th at bat for Molina against Matt Latos, and he has 13 hits, 4 doubles. Who was the guy that you hit well, where you stepped in the box and you said, okay, I know I'm going to get 2-3 hits today?
And I've told him this before. He's an ex-Blue Jay. Jimmy Key. I really liked facing Jimmy because he was left-handed, first of all. And for some reason, I could just see the ball against him. Put up great numbers for his whole career, but for some reason, I just felt very comfortable with Jim. Then there were other guys that I step into the batter's box, and I'd have no chance of getting a hit. People like Dave Steeg, Jack Morris.
You were in a big group of guys in that category. Molina hits it just foul, wide of the foul line. And the Cardinals, they're going to have a look at this. Cardinals not even hesitating. Mike Matheny, the manager, up on the top step, say, wait a minute. That's too close not to take a look at.
And totally illegal because it's behind the third base umpire. That's Quinn Wolcott this afternoon. Anything in front of the umpires you cannot review. Anything behind the umpires down the line you can take a look at. Chris Coughlin says it's foul. You see Coughlin saying it's foul, and that's foul.
Yeah, but he doesn't count. Quinn Wolcott is at third base, and the Cardinals are going to wave it off.
Oh, he's got to come up with a pitch right here. What are you going to do to Molina, who seems to hit everything from Matt Latos?
2 balls and 2 strikes to the Cardinal catcher. Hit it on the ground. 1-0 Blue Jays lead it. We're in the bottom of the 4th. He gets him. Latos throws him the breaking ball and strikes out Molina.
That was the pitch he was missing with early in the count. Fell behind and threw him 3 fastballs. Got back into the count and then drops a breaking ball on him. Slider this year is hitting 200 against that pitch. Molina way out in front and off balance. That's a good comeback right there.
He had Piscotty down 0-2 and walked him, and now he comes all the way back and strikes out Molina. 2 outs for Jose Martinez. Martinez struck out in the 2nd. One. You know, I went back and I looked at your numbers against Jimmy Key. You had 15 hits against Jimmy Key, but the most hits you had against one pitcher was Frank Tanana.
Another lefty.
Another lefty.
And when I faced him, he wasn't the flamethrower when you faced him.
He threw hard early on. Ball and a strike to Jose Martinez. Latos has not gotten that down and away strike called in his favor. He's made some pretty good pitches.
Yeah.
Pitcher's got to have that pitch. You make a good pitch down and away to a right-handed hitter, you want a strike. Going right back out there.
Jose Martinez not getting cheated. Jose Martinez batting now, taking a healthy cut. We mentioned the home run that he hit yesterday for his first big league hit. Most of his hits have come to the middle of the diamond, staying on the ball just a little bit better. With 2 strikes coming into the series, he was hitting 400.
There goes the runner. Ball is hit high and deep to left. It's going to be in the park. Carrera calls for it. Pilar calls him off and makes the catch. Latos issues a 1-out walk. The Cardinals leave him on base. We'll go to the 5th. 1-0 Blue Jays. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
There, I want to hit Gibby. And sure enough, the manager gave him an opportunity and he delivered.
Evidently, Arash, there were pitchers knocking on Gibby's back all game long. I can hit. Matt Latos volunteered to hit. He said, I'll hit. They even have Francisco Liriano. Also a former National Leaguer that can swing the bat. Liriano's a pretty good hitter, so we might see him throughout the course of these 2 days. We told you Latos could hit. He lines out for the right fielder. Hit that one right on the button.
And if it gets by the outfielder, it's a do or die play. You got to make that decision very quickly. If it gets by him, he's going to be standing on third base. Latos slicing that ball to right field. Piscotty had moved in right field. Shortened up just a little bit, and that helped him make that catch.
Kevin Pillar 0 for 2. Bouncing ball towards short. Diaz fires in time. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th.
Do you get the feeling that Carlos Martinez is starting to get locked in? I do.
You know, oftentimes if you don't get to a starter early, you're not going to get to him, especially a caliber pitcher as Martinez is. Russell Martin hit a leadoff home run in the 2nd, and he hit that home run with a 2-strike count. Since then, the Blue Jays haven't done much against Martinez. He struck out the side in the 4th. But right now, Matt Latos is matching him pitch for pitch. The Cardinals have just 1 hit against Latos. Changeup off the plate. Latos in his 2nd start for the Blue Jays has been impressive early on. Ezequiel Carrera with a 2-2 count. On the ground. Carpenter will wave off the pitcher, step on the bag. The inning is over. Carlos Martinez has retired 7 in a row. But the Cardinals trail 1-0 behind Matt Latos. 1 hit pitching so far. The only hit came from his nemesis, Yadier Molina. Molina with a double with 1 out in the 2nd. That's been it.
Doubled it and stole third base, and they left him stranded over there after he struck out Martinez. He gets the bottom of the lineup here in the 5th inning.
Colton Wong, Carlos Martinez, 8-9, and back to the top of the order, Dexter Fowler. Colton Wong drew an intentional walk in the 2nd.
He is a former 1st-round draft pick back in 2011. In fact, he was drafted right after the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays had a chance to get him at 21. They chose Tyler Beede instead. Colton Wong was then chosen by the Cardinals at 22. Solid player. I thought he was going to hit more home runs. He had a season when he came up. He had a few home runs. Doesn't get cheated. Some power and some speed.
Well, that's a good changeup. Maybe his best changeup of the afternoon. It's 1-2. Then looper into left field. Carrera's not going to get it. Pillar's there to back him up. Here's the throw to 2nd. It is not in time. Colton Wong comes up with the 2nd Cardinal hit of the afternoon. Little fly ball that dropped under the glove of Carrera. Pillar was there to back him up, and Kevin had a shot at him at 2nd base.
Carrera had been moved over towards the line with 2 strikes, and this little flare by Wong is then going to find its way into the outfield. Just out of the reach. Pillar comes over, barehands the ball. He's very accurate with his throwing. It's right on the bag, but Wong was thinking too as soon as he hit it. dives into second base with a leadoff double. Now the defense, they all got together to decide what they're going to do here with the pitcher up.
It's the 5th double of the season for Colton Wong. He just beats the tag into second base, and now the pitcher's up. Blue Jays looking for the bunt. Smoking on the grass at first. Coughlin at third. Shortened up. Martinez squares early. Now he's swinging away and fouls it back.
He had everybody moving on the diamond. That's called the old butcher boy player. You show them the bunt. You got the first baseman and third baseman crashing, the second baseman going over to first, and the shortstop to second base. Then you pull it back. All you have to do is get a ground ball. There's holes all over that infield if you do that.
The Cardinals have only had 5 sacrifice bunts all season. Martinez does not have one of those 5. Again, he squares early. This time he's going to bunt, and bunts right through it. Throw to second, and they've got Wong picked off. And now they'll put the tag on him, and the Cardinals continue to get in their own way.
You know, they have talked about that. The problems that they've had this year is their defense. 20 errors, that's the most in the National League, and base running mistakes. They made a few base running mistakes on this road trip where they just came back from. They had 3 runners picked off on Sunday, and they're going to get another one here. Now, I know this is a tough play. If you're the runner at second base and that batter bunts through a ball, you're out on your right foot and you're off balance. Heads up play by Martin to pick him off, but that's a tough play. And unfortunately for the Cardinals, that leadoff double for naught.
Caught stealing, 265 credited to Russell Martin. But you're right, when a batter bunts through that ball, your initial thought is to take a step toward third, and Martinez breaks his bat as he strikes out. He couldn't get the bunt down. He ends up striking out after Colton Wong got caught trying to get off second base, and after a leadoff double, now there are 2 outs and nobody on.
2 outs, nobody on. Turn the lineup over. He's upset with himself that he wasn't able to move that runner to third base. And you get these types of reactions, breaking your bat and striking out. But I agree with you. The Cardinals they're making too many silly mistakes, physical mistakes in the field, mental mistakes when they're running the bases.
Dexter Fowler goes after the first pitch and rips it into right. Now the Cardinals in that dugout got to be replaying this entire inning. Even if Martinez doesn't get the bunt down, Wong would have been at second with 1 out, and Fowler singles to right.
They'd have a run if not for the base running mistake, but the Blue Jays will take it.
Ledmus Diaz, the shortstop, is 0 for 2. Yanni Molina had a stolen base in the second. Cardinals have 11 steals so far. Fowler not running, and there's another first pitch swing. Smoke over near the dugout's got room. He's there and makes the catch. So a good inning for Matt Latos. He gives up a leadoff double. We'll go to the 6th. The Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Jose Bautista's already 2 for 2. Justin Smoke has a single, and Russell Martin has homered. Beat of the order coming up for the Jays. When you look at the most hits in franchise history for the Blue Jays, Tony Fernandez, the great shortstop, is the all-time leader. And then we move down on the hits list. George Bell, Shannon Stewart, now Bautista just 3 away from reaching 1,000 hits as a Blue Jay.
And he's hard charging on Damaso Garcia. Fernandez is number 1. Vernon Wells is number 2. Carlos Delgado, Lloyd Mosby 3 and 4. And then the rest of the guys you saw there, Jose, climbing up the leaderboards. He started this year number 2 in home runs in Blue Jay history, behind Carlos Delgado. Carlos has 336. Jose now has 266.
Breaking ball, and Bautista thought it was off the plate outside. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's also in the top 5 in extra base hits in Blue Jays history. Runs batted in. That one right underneath the arms. He's also top 5 in runs. Fastball gets away from him. And of course, walks.
3-2. Ball 4. Bautista reaches for a 3rd straight time this afternoon.
Cheering for the Jays since day one. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and proud fan since 1977.
Jose with a walk. That's his 5th walk on this particular road trip. He's been on base a lot and starting to swing the bat again. Here is Justin Smoke. He singled his last time up and takes a pitch inside. One nothing. The only run in this game came on a Russell Martin home run in the 2nd. High pop-up on the infield. Matt Carpenter, the first baseman, calling for it, makes the catch. One away. Drive of the game brought to you by Honda, official vehicle of the Blue Jays and proud fan since 1977.
Well, you were just talking about it. This is a lot of fun to watch. Russell Martin, his first time up with 2 strikes in the 2nd inning, says, see you later. Plays long ball into right center field. He's going to circle the bases with the game's only run. And when he gets back to that dugout, hello, PK Subban. My buddy. That is our drive of the game.
That's awesome. Subban here with the Nashville Predators after 7 seasons with Montreal. This is his first year in Nashville. They won the opening game of their 2nd round series against the St. Louis Blues here 4-3 last night. 1 out.
Well, if the Blue Jays are going to get their offense going, they're going to have to start slugging it and start swinging the bats. They just don't have the type of players to manufacture runs or create runs with speed. Not a good combination here this inning with some speed if you want to hit and run, or if you want to try and do something offensively. So John Gibbons is a little limited of what he can do. He can just hope for his guys to start getting hot.
Yeah, everybody wants the Blue Jays to change their personality, but you can't do that. These guys are 8, 9, 10-year veterans. They have a particular way they play, and you just can't all of a sudden say now you're going to be a slap hitter. They are what they are.
How many times has Gibby told us? He said, you know, we are a slugging team, and there's not much I can do as a manager to kickstart it. There's a few guys in the lineup that I can start runners, or I can bunt with, or I can play hit and run with, but hey, for us to score runs, we're going to have to swing the bat. And you're starting to see guys slowly come out of it. As the weather warms up, the bats are starting to warm up.
This is going to be out of play. Into the seats. Well, the Blue Jays got off to a terrible start at 1-9, but they're .500 over the last 10. Average has jumped up a little bit to power numbers. That's where it's really starting to show, and that's how they're going to win games. At the same time, their pitching has gotten a little bit better.
They're sorting out the bullpen. I think the starters are going to be great all year long, so I think that number is going to stay there. But the power, the power is starting to show once again.
Inside. Russell is 1 for 2 this afternoon on this road trip. He's 7 for 17. So he is starting to swing it. Two and two. Bautista at first base, 1 out. Time has been granted. Well, what a nice day all of a sudden. All the clouds are gone. The sun is shining brightly, and it's a beautiful baseball afternoon. Breaking ball around the inside corner. Martinez has 7 strikeouts. So with 1 out, you wonder whether or not they might start to runner. Chris Coghlan, a left-handed bat behind Russell Martin.
The way he is swinging, Russell, I got to start the runner right here. Start him, stay out of that double play. You bank on him making contact, or you bank on him not swinging at a pitch that's out of the strike zone. Get a guy into scoring position.
There goes Bautista. Martin checks his swing. Ball 4 by the home plate umpire, Onoa. They appealed to first base, and the umpire at first, Roberto Ortiz, said no swing. So now Martin's on base. First and second, 1 out.
Boy, what an at bat by Russell Martin. There were pitches, I mean, right on the corner, borderline, that were balls that Russell didn't even offer at. And he ended up coaxing a walk from him. Good at bat.
Chris Coghlan. Chris has grounded out and struck out in his 2 plate appearances. Martinez, one of the hardest throwers in the majors, and we have seen him up to 98. But Mike Matheny, a former catcher in his playing days, understands the value of command and control.
They have rushed that pitch count up this inning. Very patient with them. Bautista walked. Martin had a long at bat. He ended up walking. Get that pitch count out up there, get him out of the ball game, get into that bullpen. That's where the Blue Jays did some damage the other night.
Coghlan has spent 8 seasons in the National League, split his time between the Miami Marlins and the Cubs, so he's familiar with Martinez, and he strikes out. That breaking ball gets him. 2 away, 2 aboard. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. And not much has gone right for the Mets as you look at Dominic Leone, and the ball is thrown away by Martinez, and the runners move up. Again, Cardinals creating problems for themselves.
Brett Cecil had an error the other day. One of the 4 errors that the Cardinals had when he threw a ball away and it cost him a run. Now with really nothing going on, Martinez for some reason turns around and throws the ball into center field.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. I mean, the shortstop wasn't even close to the bag. He just turns and fires. You can turn around. You don't have to throw it. And now he misses badly with that first pitch to Travis.
Well, if the Blue Jays can cash in these runs right here, the leadoff walk, the error, Devin Travis can find the outfield with a base hit.
Got to get a good pitch to hit right here. More important than anything. Travis with the count in his favor, 2-0. Don't get too anxious. Make him come to you. 8 strikeouts for Martinez, but 2 walks in this inning. Bautista's at third, Martin's at second. Three 3-0. Goins on deck. No reason to swing at borderline pitches. Martinez is throwing here The 21st error for the Cardinals. That's the most in Major League Baseball.
Hidden extra bases. They just come back to get you, don't they?
Well, the Blue Jays over the last couple of seasons have been terrific at capitalizing on other teams' mistakes. It's a 1-0 game, and with 2 outs, this is a pivotal pitch in this ball game.
So everybody's going to go to the mound as the bullpen is up. That's Lyons and Bowman.
Cardinals have 3 lefties in their bullpen, including the former Blue Jay, Brett Cecil. Full count, 2 outs. Bautista at third, Martin at second. Look out. 98 up and around the neck of Travis. That's the 3rd walk of the inning.
He just tried to overthrow that fastball, gets away from him, and luckily for Devin Travis, he was able to duck out of the way. That's how you have to spin out. Turn your shoulder, turn your head away from that inside pitch.
This has been a 25-pitch inning for Carlos Martinez. He has walked the bases loaded. Ryan Goins up the middle. Base hit. Bautista's in score. Here comes Martin right behind him. And Ryan Goins, a 2-run, 2-out single to pad the Blue Jays lead.
That's how you take advantage of mistakes. Don't wait around. Ryan Goins has been swinging a hot bat, getting some confidence when he steps into that batter's box. Told you earlier that Martinez had a game where he threw 5 1/3 innings, had 11 punch-outs and 8 walks. So the Blue Jays are taking advantage of some wildness here in the 6th inning. He walks the bases loaded, and Ryan Goins says, "Thank you very much." Right back through the middle. Don't try and do too much with the ball. Just stay right back through that middle. 2 big RBIs for the Blue Jays, and they capitalize on the walks in the air.
Latos pops up the first pitch, but Ryan Goins with a big 2-out, 2-run single has added to the Blue Jays lead. Anxious for a first pitch strike, he gets it and drills it into center. 3-0 Blue Jays. Punch hit by Goins. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. He was at second base in the top half of the inning when, for some reason, Carlos Martinez turns and fires toward second. It hits Bautista on his right hand, goes into center field for an error. The shortstop, Diaz, wasn't even close to the bag. Bautista advances over to third, and fortunately it looks like he's okay, but you can see he's still feeling the effects of being hit by that throw from Carlos Martinez.
That looks like it might affect him more on his throwing than it would on his hitting. Never want to see that.
Well, you know, that's the strangest feeling for a ball player when something happens to you and you're not sure what it is. Like, you didn't expect the throw, and all of a sudden there comes the throw and it hits him on the hand. But he was able to advance, and he eventually comes around to score the 2nd run of the ball game as Goins had a 2-run single top half of this inning. Well, Matt Latos has done a terrific job this afternoon. He's allowed no runs on 3 hits through 5 innings. Matt Carpenter will lead things off for the Cardinals. This is the 3rd trip through the batting order for Matt Latos in his last start in Anaheim. They were 3 for 7, facing him for a 3rd time, including a home run. So the Blue Jays bullpen starting to heat up. That's Big Joe Biagini loosening up. Remember, the Blue Jays had yesterday off with the rain out, so everybody is relatively fresh. Just 71 pitches for Latos. here in the 6th. He threw 34 pitches through the first 2 innings, had a 6-pitch 3rd inning, and really has been efficient ever since.
And it would be great if they can get another inning out of him. Right here, he's in a good spot. You mentioned about the 3rd time through the lineup last time. He threw more sliders last time. If you just look at the raw numbers, he threw fewer fastballs, more sliders. His fastball miles per hour went down as he got deeper into the ball game. By that 5th inning in his last start, it was only averaging about 90 miles an hour. So I think that's why he went to more sliders.
Good changeup there, and Carpenter fouls it off.
Don't remember him having that good of a changeup in his last start.
Now, he's been good, and the changeup has been effective. He's thrown it for strikes, and he's gotten some weak contact on the changeup as well. Pete Walker, John Gibbons got to be thrilled with what they have gotten from Latos to this point. Foul tip caught by Martin for the strikeout. 4 strikeouts now for Latos.
That was another beautiful changeup. Gotta give some credit to Russell Martin also to call it, and then he holds on to it right there. Good execution.
What Latos has done in the last couple of innings, he's changed speeds very effectively. Everything is a little bit different speed, and the Cardinals haven't been able to really figure things out. Third baseman Jed Jerko takes one upstairs. Well, that's a good slider, late breaking slider down in the zone. Boy, Latos could really become a big asset if Jay Happ's arm problems continue. Happ has not really had all that inflammation quiet down in his elbow. And if Latos can throw like this, they certainly can be a little more patient with Jay Happ and allow him to get 100% healthy.
How was it described to us that he's in a holding pattern right now? Let's watch this last pitch from Latos. Right there. Everything all right? Russell Martin out there, he seems to have picked up on something.
And that was an odd reaction after throwing that pitch. Came right back with the same pitch, threw it in the same spot.
But to finish up that thought, it was described to us today that Jay's on a holding pattern right now, that they're not really sure what's going to happen, how long it's going to be. They're not sure if he's going to be able to throw right now. Just going to sit back and get that inflammation out of there. So whenever you hear that, you need people like Matt Latos to come up here and give you some innings.
Casey Lawrence will start game 2 this evening. He'll be matched up against Adam Wainwright, the veteran. Again, Latos wants that down and away strike. He's been throwing it very well all afternoon and hasn't had many called in his favor. Brian Honore is the crew chief of this umpiring crew. Latos loses Jerko. That's the 4th walk, 1 intentional walk issued by Latos. Biagini is ready in the Blue Jays bullpen if needed. He has had plenty of time to warm up. He's standing by now, just going along pitch for pitch with Latos.
It's a big at bat right here, Piscotty, because his nemesis is on deck. And if he loses Piscotty, he would represent Molina the tying run. So this is a huge at bat for Latos if he wants to stay in this game.
Piscotty has flied out and walked. He walked after a 0-2 count. Latos was ahead 0-2 and would lose him. Carga with a nice grab on the backhand, second for one. What a double play. Just what the doctor ordered. Chris Cargan made a good stab on the backhand to take that one hopper off the bat of Stephen Piscotty to get Latos out of the sixth. Cargan making his sixth start at third to Tevin Travis. Another double play turned by the Blue Jays. The left-hander Tyler Lyons comes out of the bullpen to take over here as he starts the top of the seventh. Lyons into the ball game, and he will bat in the fifth spot in the lower batting order. And with that, the double switch will bring in Randall Grichuk in right field. He's batting in the pitcher's spot, taking over in right for Stephen Piscotty, who made the last out of the sixth inning. Kevin Pillar 0-for-3 with a strikeout. Everybody going to the scouting report book with Brooke Jacoby. Pillar hooks this one into the seats.
He's got a good breaking ball. That's the first thing they're going to find in that book. That Lions, Blue Jays taking a look at him for the first time. He's got a good breaking ball. Doesn't throw real hard. Not like some of the relievers that we have seen come out of the bullpens nowadays, but he's very calm, throws a lot of strikes, got a good breaking ball, use a changeup.
It's his first appearance against the Jays. That's why everybody's going to the scouting report. What a job by Matt Latos, boy. He got the big double play to get out of the jam, and more than that, he left Yadi Molina standing on deck.
And that will probably earn him another inning, don't you think?
I would think so. With the doubleheader, they want to save as many arms down in that bullpen as possible. And then Latos has been terrific. 82 pitches through 6 innings. He certainly has enough left in the tank.
And they haven't figured him out yet either.
Pillar hits it into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. His first hit of the afternoon. A leadoff single. So Pillar's aboard for Ezekiel Carrera. Carrera 0-for-3, trying to extend a hit streak to 6 straight.
He's taking a long look at Louis Rivera, the third base coach. The Cardinals anticipating a bunt here. If they give him the bunt, why not try and drag a bunt here? Bunt for a base hit. You got a left-handed pitcher who falls off hard towards third base, opening up that right side of the infield for him.
Not showing bunt, takes a strike. Carpenter, the first baseman. This is just his 83rd start of his career. He played the majority of his career third base. He's also played second base, but now they want him to play first base every day. Bautista's on deck, and he's had a good day at the plate. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. He scored a run in the 6th. Carrera shows bunt, pulls the bat back, gets a ball and a strike. Now the Blue Jays have all kinds of options. Want to start the runner? You can count on Carrera for putting the bat on the ball. Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead.
Kevin Pillar over first base doesn't look real comfortable just yet with the move of Tyler Lyons. Hasn't really been able to pick anything out of his delivery that tells him he's going home or he's going over to first base. That time he quick pitches him.
Another show of the bunt by Carrera. He takes ball 2. Ball 3. Carrera's trying to bunt. Lyon won't throw a strike. 3-1.
That's the first thing you're taught, isn't it? When you're trying to bunt a strike. Now Gibby can put a play on if he wants to.
Ball 4. Leadoff single and a walk, and the Cardinals having all sorts of problems now. That's the 4th walk issued to the Blue Jays, and that'll bring Jose Bautista to the plate. Quick meeting between the pitcher and catcher. Middle infielders now want to come in and check with Lyons on the signs. But I guarantee you one thing, this guy's not bunting.
The only signs they're worried about are the one the catcher's putting down right here. They're not worried about the Blue Jays sign. The way Jose has swung the bat on this road trip, they're not going to take the bat out of his hand.
That hits him. Well, Bautista got hit while he was running the bases, and now he gets hit at the plate. So he'll be on base for the 4th time this afternoon. The bases are loaded, nobody out, and the Cardinals are in a jam.
Another breaking ball right off the foot. Jose's going to feel that one. You mentioned it, that his hand got hit. That time it hit him right on that back foot. Left-handed pitchers are taught, hey, if you got a good breaking ball, aim for that back foot with that breaking ball.
Derek Lilliquist out to talk to Lyons. The starter for the Cardinals was Carlos Martinez. He lasted just 6 innings. Pitch count got up to 97. 3 walks, and they all came in the 6th inning when the Blue Jays scored 2 runs to add to their 1-0 lead. Again, his command really let him down. He punched out 8, but it was kind of after the fact. The walks really haunted him in the 6th.
2 of those runs score set up by an error.
Smoke goes after the first pitch and drives it deep into center. Pilar is tagging. The runners will move up, Carrera and Pilar, while Bautista stays put at first, and Smoke picks up the sac fly, his 10th RBI of the season.
Situational hitting by the Blue Jays. Bases loaded, nobody out, a walk, a hit, and a hit by a pitch. Smoke's going to pick up the 1 run, and he gets the runner over from second base to third base. Now Russell Martin's got a chance for an easy RBI.
Isn't this game frustrating when you see the Blue Jays play a game like this? You go, well, why don't they play like this all the time? 4-0 Blue Jays, and Smoke with a good approach at the plate. Now Russell Martin, he's had a good day at the plate. He's homered, walked, and scored 2. Ball on the strike to the Blue Jays catcher.
When you're hitting as well as Russell's hitting right now, you don't mind hitting with 1 strike or 2 strikes. Doesn't matter. You can take that tough breaking ball for strike 1.
Fouled off. Four nothing Blue Jays. They have 6 hits. They've doubled up the Cardinals on hits. Kendrys Morales has his bat and a batting helmet. So Martin strikes out. Coughlin's being called back to the dugout. Darwin Barney has grabbed a bat, putting on his batting gloves. He's going to come up and hit for Coughlin. So Coughlin started, went 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Now Darwin Barney will come off the bench and bat.
And one great defensive play. Might have been the biggest play of the game right there by Coughlin last inning. Turning that double play, getting Matt Latos out of the inning.
That may be the play of the game.
I'm voting for it right now.
So here is Barney. Darwin coming off the bench, batting .294. As a pinch hitter, 1 for 3. Takes a first pitch ball. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Blue Jays have added a run here in the 7th. Good day for Bautista, 2 for 2. He has walked and hit by a pitch. He's been on base all 4 times he's come to the plate. Barney called for the swing.
Changeup. He was looking for a fastball and he got a changeup. A little bit too anxious there. He has come up with some big hits for the Blue Jays, and he's at his finest when he's going up the middle or the other way. Darwin's had a couple of at-bats against Lions in his career. He's 1 for 2, so he knows this lefty.
Foul tip on the changeup. Blue Jays are looking for back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Strike 3 call. A breaking ball catches the outside corner, and that'll do it. Blue Jays leave runners at the corners. They score another run. They've taken a 4-0 lead here in St. Louis. That's kind of interesting. Remember, Latos questioned that down and away pitch all afternoon, and O'Nora, the crew chief, coming over with an extended conversation with him. It's really kind of interesting. You don't see this very often, where he comes over to talk to the pitcher.
Well, you don't have to worry about it anymore because he's out of the ball game. Brian O'Nora had something to say to him, and Matt Latos had something to say to him. 83 pitches as both starters this afternoon go 6 innings. The difference, Matt Latos did not give up a run, just 3 hits, 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. He is in line for his first win as a Blue Jay.
It would be his first win as a starter since last May 6th while pitching for the White Sox. Joe Biagini makes his 12th appearance of the season.
And it's up to the bullpen to hold it for him right there. Joe Biagini has pitched great in his 11 ball games. Doesn't have a record but an ERA under 2. He's thrown 14 innings. Darwin Barney will stay in the game and play third base.
Yadier Molina not going to get a third look at Matt Latos this afternoon. Molina 1 for 2 against Latos. 13 career hits against the Blue Jays starters, so that was a huge double play started by Chris Coughlin to end the 6th. Ground ball. Goins with a nice hop, takes his time. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Thank you, Jamie. The Mariners getting some bad news about their starter, Felix Hernandez. He went on the disabled list with arm fatigue. You know what, Pat? That's not ever very good if a pitcher has arm fatigue. I don't care how we're throwing, but he's not throwing well.
No, you're not going to get too many people out when you have arm fatigue. Yeah, rough start for Seattle also.
They lost Mitch Haniger to a strained oblique muscle. Nelson Cruz is hitting .321. Robinson Cano hasn't gotten on track yet. He's batting .256. Jose Martinez. He hit the home run off of Biagini Tuesday night. 2-run home run into the bullpen in right center.
That was on a slider that was down and away. So if he's going to stay away, maybe he's going to be a little bit firm. Use his fastball this afternoon.
Curveball. And a good one down and away.
Here's the beauty of Joe Biagini and how they have been using him. He can come in and give you multiple innings out of that bullpen, and if he has a quick inning here in the 7th, maybe John Gibbons runs him back out there in the 8th inning. Again, doubleheader, you want to save as many arms as possible. First thing he's got to do, he's got to have a quick inning.
Martinez with a single into left. A one-out single. Let's check in with Arash Madani.
Well, Buck, remember earlier on this road trip, Biagini came in, got the Blue Jays out of a jam in that marathon game in Anaheim. He said, look, I try and remind myself of how I need to remember this for the rest of my life. He said just to be able to come in the 13th inning, bases loaded, to try and pitch, try and get out of it. He said, what an experience. How many people get to experience something like that regardless of how it ends up? He says that perspective actually helps him relax, focus, and then just try and attack.
Picked up a save in that outing. Ground ball off the bat of Wong, and they'll go to first for the second out of the inning. On the play, Martinez goes into second.
Well, that's a heads-up play right there. The last thing you want to see is trying to make a play where there was really nothing there. That shows how Devin Travis is maturing as a fielder. You got a 4-0 lead. You're in the 7th inning. No chance to try and be a hero and start throwing the ball all over the infield. Just take the out. There's now 2 outs, and it's going to take a hit to score him from second base.
Randall Grichuk came into the game part of a double switch. He took over in right field when they made a pitching change. So he's in the 9th spot. He goes after the first pitch. This is going to drop in center field. Pilar comes up throwing and throws it to the cutoff man, and they've got Grichuk. Again, no reason in the world for Grichuk to run into an out there. The Cardinals continue to make mistake after mistake, and it's got to drive Mike Matheny crazy. But the Cardinals are on the board. The Blue Jays have a 4-1 lead. And that is P.K. Subban in the red jacket signing autographs as the Predators are here enjoying this game after their first game win in round 2. They won 4-3 here against the Blues last night. Devin Travis waves at that changeup. Devin has gone 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts and a walk. He drew a big walk in the 6th inning. It was the 3rd walk of the inning. That loaded the bases for Ryan Goins. Goins would get a first pitch RBI single to center to give the Blue Jays a 3-0 lead at the time.
Not taking anything away from Matt Latos or anything else, but I think there's been 3 big plays in this game so far. The walk that you just talked about against a tough Carlos Martinez. Travis had struck out the 2 previous times up.
This ball is hit a ton to center. Fowler gets back. Oh, what a play. He turned his back on the infield, took his eye off the ball, and when he looked up, he picked up the baseball, made a running catch, and he's got to deal with the bright sunshine. He's got the glasses on. This is a terrific play.
Anytime you 360 like that, it's tough to pick the ball back up, and you're right, looking right back into the sun. Look at the sun shining off of his glasses, but he picks it up. That's what he's dealing with right there. When he turns around, takes his eye off the ball, and he's got to find it again. But to finish up my thought, the walk, the base hit by Goins, and the great play by Coughlin at third base really have been the staple plays so far this afternoon.
Matt Latos was terrific in his start. Just 3 hits. One and 2. Goins in the 8th spot. Steve Pearce has grabbed the bat. He's come out on deck. He will bat for Biagini. Goins breaks his bat. Hits the grounder to short. Diaz throws him out. 6-3 on the ground out. 2 outs. And now we will see a pinch hitter. Barney pinch hit in the 7th. Now Steve Pearce will come off the bench and pinch hit for the pitcher. Pearce as a pinch hitter 0 for 2. He's gotten off to a rough start to his season. Pearce just 7 hits in 44 official at bats.
He was the batter in the 11th inning that hit the sharp ground ball to the shortstop with Marcus Stroman at second base. And then the subsequent error by the shortstop led to the game-winning run. But he had a good at-bat and hit the ball hard right on the nose to the shortstop. So maybe things are starting to turn for him. He's changed his batting stance a little bit. His hands are a little bit higher and his bat is a little bit flatter. So maybe that'll get him going.
2-0. Hot shot, gloved by Jerko. Steve Pearce is not having any luck. It's robbed of a base hit by the third baseman, Jerko. We will go to the bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays will call upon Joe Smith to come in and protect this lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell. The Cardinals have scored, and now it's a 4-1 game that Joe Smith has been handed to protect it right here in the 8th.
He's going to pitch in the 8th inning. This is also his 3rd straight game that he is going to work. 10 games for Joe this year, and he too has an ERA under 2. 9 2/3 innings. He has an issue to walk to a right-handed batter this year. That's 25 plate appearances. Seems to be rounding into shape. I'll tell you what, in the form against that St. Louis team here the other day, threw an inning, gave up a couple of hits, but did not give up a run. He's got the 8th inning here in game 1.
Smith started an inning-ending double play in the 8th. There's a swing and a drive to center. Pilar leaves his feet and can't come up with it. He had it in his glove, and when he hit the ground, it jarred the ball loose.
Yeah, it just wasn't secure enough in his glove, but that would have been one of those patented Kevin Pilar unbelievable plays. He is shading Fowler towards left field. Gets a great jump. You could tell from that angle right there that the ball just wasn't secure in the webbing or the pocket of his glove. And it just pops out when he hits the dirt.
Fowler with his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
Well, this guy plays the game just one way. He plays the game hard. And once he sees that ball out and laying on the grass, he makes it easily into second base.
Leadoff double. This is Aledmus Diaz, and he fouls off the first pitch. Mentioned Smith gave up a pair of hits on Tuesday in the 8th inning. An infield hit to Jerko and a single to Molina, but then he got Greg Garcia to hit into an inning-ending double play, a 1-6-3 double play. Ground ball. Barney at third will have to hurry. He does make a nice play to throw out Diaz. Darwin Barney, his first chance since coming in as a pinch hitter, throws out Diaz. Fowler moves to third on the play.
Well, that pinch hit by Darwin Barney served 2 purposes. Try and get an extra run and put a better defender out there. You want to put your best defensive team on the field. If you got the lead in the last 3 innings, Darwin Barney comes up with an Andy right there to get a good runner in Diaz at first.
I just got to go back to the bottom of the 7th inning after Grichuk had singled to center to drive in the first run. He drove in Martinez. But Grichuk kept running and just ran into an out to end the inning. That would have turned the lineup over. Fowler leads off with a double, and who knows where we are in this ball game. But another base running mistake by the Cardinals has hurt their chances in this game. Matt Carpenter missed Tuesday's game, serving a 1-game suspension. as a result of an argument with an umpire on Sunday. He's gone over 2. He walked in his first time up. Singles to right. Fowler's going to jog home. Matt Carpenter with an RBI single, his 6th RBI of the season.
You know what? And you're right. Who knows what this game would be? It might be a one-run game, if not for the bad base running. Matt Carpenter has put together a couple of very good years for the Cardinals. He is a tough out. Drove in 68 runs last year, hit 28 home runs and had 84 RBIs in 2015, and comes up with a clutch hit there to score the second run.
Jed Jerker's got some pop. He has 3 home runs so far this season. Hit 30 home runs last year. J.P. Howell, just fresh off the DL, has not appeared in a game since he's joined the team here in St. Louis. Jerko has faced Joe Smith 3 times. He's 3 for 3 with a home run. He's a low ball hitter.
Yes, yes, he is. He is a fastball hitter too. You got to keep the ball away from him. They've got J.P. Howell up just in case a pinch hitter who has come out on deck, a left-handed hitter, just in case it gets to that.
And there is the left-handed hitter. That's Matt Adams. Played first base in the opener, and J.P. Howell indeed is throwing. And looks like he is ready, just standing by now. 2 balls and a strike to the Cardinals' third baseman. Cued that one right off the end of the mat. It's a 4-2 Blue Jays lead. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Matt Latos started and had an impressive outing. No runs on 3 hits over 6 innings. He walked 4, struck out 4. Joe Biagini gave up a run on 2 hits in his inning of work, and now Joe Smith. Smith strikes out Jerko. So Matt Adams will be announced into the game as he makes his way to home plate. There's the signal from the umpire. Adams officially into the game now. J.P. Howell is ready, but there's no movement from the dugout. Jason Grilli, the righty, has gotten his glove. He's going to start to loosen up. Adams went 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts on Tuesday night, starting at first base. Goes after the first pitch. Lefty's hitting just 111 against Joe Smith.
Adams has faced him 1 time, and he's 0 for 1. Both base hits this inning have been by left-handed batters.
Just off the plate, 2-1. Yadier Molina is the on-deck hitter. Little flare behind third. Barney is back. He makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. The Cardinals get a run on 2 hits. They leave a base runner. We'll go to the 9th. The Blue Jays lead it 4-2. Top of the order when we come back. Pilar, Carrera, and Bautista.
And back then, when he was with his first team, the Dodgers, he could really blow it, bring some gas. Fastball slider combination for Broxton. Right-handers haven't had a lot of luck against him this year, hitting just 100 against him.
Broxton had a career high 36 saves for the Dodgers in 2009. He was an all-star in 9 and 10. For his career, he has 118 saves, but obviously just trying to hold it here where we are in the 9th at 4-2. Kevin Pilar singled to center his last time up. He's 1 for 4 on the afternoon. Had a good cut at that pitch. Broxton has bounced around since his Dodger days. He spent 7 years with the Dodgers and then started to move around. He went to Kansas City, Cincinnati, Milwaukee. He's been here in St. Louis. This is his 3rd season. Threw 60 2/3 innings last year working out of the pen. 0-2 to Pilar. That'll be a base hit for Kevin. Another great approach with 2 strikes. Pilar takes what Broxton gives him.
Did you see how he cut his swing down and his stride? He didn't overswing, just punched that ball the other way. Broxton still throws in the mid-90s. Quiet. That's a quiet 2-strike approach right there from Pilar, and he's rewarded with a base hit.
Ezequiel Carrera, number 2 hitter. Pilar looks like he wants to run.
And the Cardinals have picked up on that. That little throw over to first base does a couple of things. It's give you a chance to see if Pilar was going to try and steal maybe a flinch. It also gives Mike Matheny a chance to take a look at Ezequiel Carrera to see if Carrera is going to square around the bunt.
Now go to first again. Tim Leeper looking across at Louis Rivera, as is Carrera, getting the signs from the 3rd base coach.
He tried to bunt his last time up, but that was against the left-hander.
Base hit, left field. Pilar will stop at second. Back-to-back singles off Broxton here in the 9th. It's the same way the 7th started, with Pilar getting a single and Carrera walking. And Bautista was hit by a pitch. Smoke had a sacrifice fly that led to the 4th Blue Jay run. So the same scenario here in the 9th. First 2 reach for Bautista.
Get some insurance. Time for some insurance.
Jose is 2 for 2, single to each of his first 2 times up. Then he was walked in the 6th and hit by a pitch in the 7th. Boy, that'd be great news for the Blue Jays if he could get rolling a bit. Ground ball. Diaz at short. 2nd for 1. Back to first. Double play. 2 quick outs for the Cardinals. Bautista hit it sharply, but right to the shortstop.
First time that they were able to retire Jose today. You're right. Get him started. That's all the Blue Jays need. They just need their guys to do what they normally do.
So Broxton gets the double play. Pilar moves to 3rd. Justin Smoke, he's 1 for 3, had that sac fly in the 7th. Word's getting out that Smoke's been aggressive on that first pitch, and Buxton starts him off with a breaking ball. Roberto Osuna loosening up for the Blue Jays. Osuna gave up a run in the 9th, a blown save charge to Osuna. It was an infield single off the bat of Dexter Fowler that scored Randall Grichuk. It was a 5-5 game after that. They went to extras. Down the left side, but that's going to slice out of play. Big insurance run at third base. Love to have this extra run in. Cash in Pilar from third.
Still a safe situation if they get him in. You're right. Get that run in. Smoke's already driven in a run today with a sacrifice fly. Smokey's also had a base hit. That was back in the 3rd inning.
Blue Jays have left 8 runners aboard this afternoon. Russell Martin got it started. He homered leading off the 2nd. Blue Jays added 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. The Cardinals got on the board in the 7th. They added a run in the 8th. Two and 2 now. First game of 2. Smoke drives it to right. Grichuk is there and makes the catch. Smoke hit it hard, but right to the right fielder, so we will go to the 9th. 4-2 Blue Jays lead. Roberto Osuna will come in to face Molina Martinez. Denny.
Well, Buck, it was on Tuesday that Osuna had that blown save. It was John Gibbons today who said, look, I just think he needs more work. The problem is, how do you get him that work? You just don't want to get him out there for the sake of a little more innings, a little more work, and then get yourself in 3 straight save situations. So the manager said the Blue Jays continue to juggle that with Osuna.
They're going to make sure they get him right. You see, it's only his 6th game of the season. He's worked a total of 5 innings, and Pat, he didn't have much work in spring training, being away from the team for the WBC.
And then came back from that WBC with an injury up in his upper back area. Began the season on the disabled list. Not throwing as hard as he did that we saw last year, but he is working himself into game shape also and getting himself right. Blew that save on Tuesday on a infield hit.
Yadier Molina jumps on the first pitch and drills it down the left field line all the way into the corner. So Molina picks up his 2nd double of the afternoon, 4th of the season, a leadoff double, and just like that, the Cardinals will get the tying run to the plate.
And there's some power coming up in Martinez, and then Grichuk. He can still get to the fastball. I don't care what anybody says. Molina can turn on that fastball, gets it over the head of Darwin Barney down into the corner for extra bases. He had a double and a stolen base his first time up. He had a couple of singles on Tuesday. He's got 4 hits in this series.
The Cardinals have scored single runs in the 7th and 8th. Now they get a leadoff double. Jose Martinez singled and scored in the 7th. Both Joe Biagini and Joe Smith gave up a run on 2 hits in an inning of work. Matt Latos was terrific in his start. 6 innings of shutout ball. He allowed just 3 hits. Latos only threw 82 pitches. There's a strike. What do you see from Osuna that suggests there's more to come from Roberto?
Well, the only thing that I see, and I think you see the same thing, I don't see 95, 96 with his fastball that we saw his first 2 years in the big leagues. Throwing some cutters this year, and he's sinking the ball, and he's throwing a breaking ball. I just haven't seen the big fastball.
94 fouled straight back. Roberto has worked diligently on adding pitches to his arsenal with each season. His numbers in interleague play are impressive.
He's a valuable guy to that bullpen. Sets everybody up in that bullpen when he's doing his thing.
1-2. Breaking ball hit to short. Goins has it. Molina will hold at second. 1 out. Let's check in with Tim and Sid. Thanks, fellas. It's a lot coming up after this ball game, so make sure you stay tuned. And of course, we'll be back with you 7:15 Eastern time, start of game 2, 6:15 local time here in St. Louis. Colton Wong. Wong was caught stealing in a failed bunt attempt back in the 5th inning, one of a couple of base running mistakes the Cardinals have made this afternoon.
He was in scoring position, wasn't he?
Second base. Carlos Martinez, the pitcher, bunting at the time, bunted through a strike. Russell Martin threw to second and threw behind Wong, who was caught in a rundown. It is scored as a caught stealing. 2-6-5. Cued off the end of the bat.
That was after a leadoff double, and wouldn't you know it, after he got picked off, Martinez struck out, Dexter Fowler singled. So there's a run that was left off the board for the Cardinals. Randall Grichuk also ran into an out to end an inning. That possibly could have cost him a run.
Well, Grichuk, batting in the 9th spot, ran into an out to end the 7th inning in the bottom of the 8th. Dexter Fowler doubled to start the inning. Off-speed pitch, and Wong strikes out. Well, this is a beautiful setting to watch a baseball game. Bush 3, if you will, but there's an unusual setting for some fans way atop that building a few blocks from this ballpark, and they still have the chance to look inside the ballpark and watch from a distance.
Looks like they're having a party up there. Maybe an office party up there, and watch an afternoon ball game.
Cardinals down to their last out. Randall Grichuk had an RBI single in the 7th, but then was caught trying to advance around first. Ball on a strike. Grichuk batting in the 9th spot, top of the order. Dexter Fowler is on deck. He's 2 for 4 this afternoon.
Don't want to see
like
him.
to end it right here.
I don't want to see him. This is the guy they want right here. The 27th out.
High and deep to center. Pilar at the wall. This ball is down. Randall Grichuk has tied it up. A 2-run home run to dead center. He's driven in 3, and he didn't come into the game until the 7th.
He's only had a couple of at-bats. We mentioned him running into an out. Well, he's going to make sure he doesn't have to do anything on the bases, and he's going to get the favor of his manager by hitting a 2-out home run in the 9th inning to tie this baby up. Pilar thinks he has a beat on it. He leaps, and it is just out of his reach, right in the first row. And the Blue Jays got to come back now. That is a tough pill to swallow.
Grichuk's 3rd home run of the season. 3 RBIs on the afternoon. Dexter Fowler swings and misses. Grichuk comes out to respond to the crowd, takes a curtain call. 2 for 2 with 3 ribbies and a game-tying home run. Swinging a drive deep to right, but that's going to be foul. Yadi Molina with the leadoff double scores ahead of the Grichuk home run. The Blue Jays bullpen giving up all 4 runs today. Matt Latos pitching strong 6 innings.
Late. All 4 of those runs late. Well, that's why you really needed that extra run in the 9th inning. That add-on run, little insurance. Randall Grichuk saw to it. First of all, with a play to end the inning in right field, and then in the bottom of the inning ties it with a long home run.
The Blue Jays had back-to-back singles to start the 9th inning off Jonathan Broxton. Bautista hit into a double play, and then Smoke lined out to right. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Dexter Fowler. And he strikes out, but the damage is done. Roberto Osuna, another blown save here in St. Louis. This time it's Randall Grichuk who goes deep to center field. His 3rd home run of the season, and the Cardinals tie it up in the bottom of the 9th. Run to Grichuk, and the Cardinals tied up in the bottom of the 9th. It's a 4-4 game, and the Cardinals will go back to their bullpen and call upon their closer, Sun Won Ho from Korea. He is from South Korea, and he has been terrific for the Cardinals. Last season, he took over as the closer mid-season and ended up with 23 saves.
How about that? Off to a pretty good start this year. His ERA is a little high, but 5 for 6 in save opportunities. Picked up 3 of them on that road trip. Lefties has had their way against O. They are hitting .381, so a little bonus baseball here in game 1.
We're pretty good at bonus baseball on this road trip. We played 13 innings in Anaheim. Tuesday was an 11-inning game, and Russell Martin will lead things off here in the 10th. Russell hit his 3rd home run of the season, his first time up today against Carlos Martinez. He has since hit into a fielder's choice, walked and struck out.
That's what you're going to get from him. Lots of sliders, and he's got good command with that slider. Fastball slider combination from O. He can throw it at any time.
Two and two now. O pitched 11th season in the Korean Baseball Organization, the equivalent of Major League Baseball in South Korea. Pitched actually 9 seasons in Korea and the last 2 in Japan. Pitched for the Hanshin Tigers in the Japanese league.
Had 80 saves in those 2 seasons that he pitched in Japan. 80.
He has 381 career saves. Martin hits it to left field. Martinez is there and makes a head-high catch. in the 10th. Darwin Barney entered the game as a pinch hitter in the 7th and struck out to end the inning. That came against Tyler Lyons, the lefty.
Blue Jays had a couple more runners on base right there, 1st and 3rd with 2 outs, and couldn't scratch through a run. 9 runners left on base this afternoon.
Oh, 2 pitch. Foul back. Turned out to be a beautiful day here in St. Louis. It started out kind of threatening weather, cloudy. It rained all day and into the night last night. But it's cleared up and it's a beautiful day and a nice crowd on hand for this day game. Way outside. Blue Jays will play game 2 of this series later on tonight. Then they'll return home for a 3-game series against Tampa Bay, and then back out on the road, New York and Tampa Bay. Barney protects the outside corner.
Fighting off that hard slide. He's going to throw a lot of them. Oh, was with the Cardinals last year. That was the first year with the Cardinals. He was among the top 5 National League relievers in ERA and strikeouts, innings, whip. Doesn't walk too many batters, so there's tons of strikes. So you got to be ready to swing.
Last year, pitching in 79 2/3 innings, he walked just 18. Had 103 strikeouts.
103 strikeouts.
Barney strikes out for a 2nd time this afternoon, this time looking a fastball on the outside corner.
Just when you think you're going to get that slider, he can throw that fastball and paint it on the outside corner. Boom, right there.
Excuse me, Pat, go ahead.
34 years old, so he's been around. You mentioned all the great numbers that he had in Korea and in Japan, so he's very experienced.
Devin Travis 0 for 3. Of course, with the success of so many of the players coming from Japan, and most recently with the success of Eric Thames coming back from Korea, ball clubs are going to take a little closer look at those 2 leagues. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Travis. Ripped foul. Nice play by the ball boy down
Nice. Even the ball boys are good here.
Yeah, he likes it. He made a good play. Probably saved a fan in that first row from a bad hop. Popped up. Playable. Jerko, the 3rd baseman, back into fair ground, and the inning is over. Oh, retires the side in order. So we'll go to the bottom of the 10th. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 10th. Dominic Leone coming out of the Weller Ranch. That goes a long way in any kind of playoff, but especially in the Stanley Cup playoffs when your team is all focused, playing as a team. And it doesn't really matter where you play at that point of the season. As long as everybody's on the same page, good things can happen.
And you can't wait to get to the ballpark or the rink or anything like that because you know you're going to win. Blue Jays, if they're going to win, they're going to need a shutdown inning. They got to get it from Dominic Leone, who is now in his 8th game. He has come up here after a couple of injuries to the bullpen, and he has really given the Blue Jays some good numbers. Good fastball, good slider.
Leon actually broke with the club opening day when they put Roberto Osuna on the disabled list, and Dominic has done a nice job. This is his 8th appearance. He's pitched a total of 9 in the 3rd innings, allowed just 4 hits.
Not happy with the mound on that one. But picking up some strikeouts with his breaking ball. He's got a very hard breaking ball, and John Gibbons was saying the other day that they can see him pitching in some tighter situations in some bigger innings. They like what they see from him.
Broken bat, little looper, and that's going to drop in center. A leadoff base hit for Ledmus Diaz, the shortstop.
Well, falling behind, you got to throw a fastball, and Diaz is a good fastball hitter. This one is off the plate, but he's got enough plate coverage to break his bat. Softly hit that ball into center field. Thought for a second there that Travis was going to have a chance at catching it.
Ball just carried beyond his reach, and now number 3 hitter Matt Carpenter. Carpenter had an RBI single in the 8th. He drove in the run that got him back in the game, and then St. Louis, of course, scored a run in the 9th. 2 runs in the 9th to tie. 4-4 ball game, and Leon delivers a first pitch strike. Bullpen couldn't hold the lead today. Matt Latos turned over a 4-0 lead. Latos was very effective and really did a great job holding the Cardinals to just 3 hits.
And it's unfortunate he's going to pick up a no decision. After that home run landed in the seats, he was taken off the hook. No runs in 6 innings.
Ball on the strike. Leon making just his 3rd career appearance against the Cardinals. This is his first appearance in this series. Matt Bowman, who pitched Tuesday night and had his long scoreless inning streak snapped, standing by in the Cardinal pen. This is the first appearance for Dominic here in Busch Stadium, and Russell Martin come out and have a chat about all these throws to first. Possibly say, listen, they're probably not going to run here, but I don't mind you coming over there. Just vary it at times a little bit.
They've got some different sets of signs where they want to hold, or they want to throw over, they want to throw over quickly, just so Russell can get an idea if that runner is trying to steal or if he's going to flinch over there, just to give him a little bit of a heads up.
Russell will look for reaction from the base runner, see if he might show that he's thinking about running.
When you play in these National League games, you always have to be aware where the pitcher's spot is.
Pitcher's spot in this situation is in the 5th spot in the batting order behind Jed Jerko, so it's 2 batters away. That's why Matt Bowman is loosening up.
That's right. And you got to think about that if you're the Blue Jays. You got to get this guy out first of all.
Foul. Well, Smoke made a grab for it, but it was ripped past him down the right side, but foul.
He's going to be holding that runner on at first base, and then when he comes off, he's not going to go very far. Can't afford to have a double hit by him. Watch him comes off, and he's right on that line where it's clearly foul. Those types of hits, that's why you do that, why you stay right on the line.
Good breaking ball from Leon and a big strikeout. First out of the inning.
And a tough hitter, retiring a tough hitter. This guy's got over 650 hits over the last 3 years. And swings out a pitch out of the dirt. He's upset with himself, but a good pitch by Leon to get the out.
Third baseman Jed Jerko 0 for 3 this afternoon so far. Jerko walked in the 6th. Big wild swing from Jerko. Good pitch. Right on the corner. The Blue Jays are playing in their 6th extra inning game already. This is just their 21st game of the season. Puts a lot of pressure on your bullpen. You have to go extra innings. They had an extra inning game on Tuesday.
And a lot of tight games, too. Talk about putting pressure on your bullpen. A lot of close ball games. Not to mention a lot of innings that you have to cover. 13 in Anaheim on Friday, 11 more on Tuesday, and here we are in the 10th.
Two balls and 2 strikes on the Cardinal third baseman. Strike 3 call. Leon delivers that fastball right on the corner.
Boy, did he ever pitch Jed Jerko, a home run hitter, tough. He came into this game hitting .340. He gave him nothing to hit. Sliders on the block and that fastball right on the corner.
So the pitcher's spot is due up, and with that, the Cardinals will send their 3rd pinch hitter of the game to the plate. It'll be the left-handed hitting Greg Garcia. Garcia pinch hit in the 8th inning on Tuesday night and bounced into a 1-6-3 inning-ending double play. Diaz at first. Garcia, we mentioned the pinch hit appearance Tuesday. He is 2 for 6 coming off the bench.
Not a lot of power. Still have to play deep because you can't have any ball get by you in the outfield or the game's going to be over. The outfielders are playing deep. He's the grandson of Dave Garcia, who was with Cleveland when I was there. Manager.
Outstanding manager, coach, long history in baseball. There's a strike. The Blue Jays, their longest game of the season was that Friday night game, 13 innings, 5 hours and 36 minutes against the Angels, and they won that one. Strike 2. Blue Jays are 3-7 in 1-run games. They are 2-3 in the 5 previous extra inning games. Roberto Osuna charged with a blown save. He gave up a 2-run home run to Randall Grichuk. That tied it up at 4-4. Another broken bat base hit to center. Pilar charging hard. Diaz will go first to third. Garcia with the pinch hit single with 2 outs.
2 base hits. Both of them not hit very hard. Broke the bat of Diaz for hit number 1, and then he makes another good pitch right in on the hands of Garcia. Just muscles it into center field. And because it was hit so softly, here comes Aledmus Diaz to third base.
John Gibbons. Interesting. The bullpen is quiet.
I think
Gibbons is talking about options, who you want to pitch to.
Yeah.
Yadi Molina, the veteran, has doubled in 4 at-bats today.
Or the rookie, Jose Martinez. They might elect to just take the bat right out of Molina's hand and just walk him.
Yeah, and that's why Gibbons would come to the mound to deliver that strategy personally.
Yep.
So it looks like as soon as play is resumed, Brian Honora will send Molina to first. They've got to go.
Honora's not really sure. He's asking. Yeah, there Gibby just gave him the signal. Go ahead, let's walk him.
Yeah.
Let's take the bat right out of his hand.
So now Russell Martin will go back out and make sure that Leon understands which set of signs they're using with a runner at second. So the bases are loaded. Jose Martinez started the ball game in left field. He is 1 for 4. Martinez homered Tuesday night in the 7th inning. His first big league home run, a 2-run home run. That gave the Cardinals a lead at the time, and now here we are. 2 outs, no place to put Martinez. Fly ball deep to right. Bautista back. He's got room and makes the catch. Leon gets out of it. The Cardinals leave the bases loaded in the 10th. Dominic Leon gets Martinez to fly out to right. 13th appearance. We mentioned Bowman had a long scoreless innings streak snapped on Tuesday. He gave up a run. It was an unearned run as the Blue Jays scored on the air by third baseman. The triple by Pilar, that was the play that Coughlin jumped over the catcher, so he gave up 2 runs in that inning.
It took that play to stop that streak. That streak was 19 2/3 innings pitched, scoreless streak. That dated back to September the 6th of last year. He gave up 2 runs on Tuesday for the Blue Jays.
So it'll be number 8 in the Blue Jays order. Ryan Goins. Goins 1 for 4 this afternoon. RBI single in the 6th. Check that, a 2-run single in the 6th. Pitcher's spot is next, and with that, Kendrys Morales has grabbed the bat. He's out on deck. Goins faced Bowman, the first batter Bowman faced in the 7th inning on Tuesday night, and Goins struck out. Then Coughlin walked as a pinch hitter. Pilar tripled. That's when Coughlin leaped over the catcher to score. Goins hits it in the air to center. Fowler backing up. He's there. 1 away. So in interleague play, you don't have a DH, and Kendrys Morales did not start this game. He started the game on Tuesday at first base. In that game, he went 0 for 5 with an RBI ground out. Hit the ball on the ground 5 times. Morales getting his first pinch hit at bat.
In these games, you have to be very creative also. So if he gets on, we might see Marcus Stroman again on the bases. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a very distinct possibility. If he gets on, Stroman might come into the game as a pinch runner.
Marcus scored the game winner the other night after a double.
Stroman pinch hit and hit a 1-out double, came around to score on the air by the shortstop. Morales flares it, but that's going to drop foul. Double barrel action. Grilly if the Blue Jays take the lead. Tepera if it stays tied. Base hit for Morales. A pinch hit base hit. It comes with 1 out.
He is starting to do that a little bit more. They're playing him in the shift, 3 runners on the, or excuse me, 3 defenders on the right side of the infield, and they're pitching him away, trying to get him to pull it into that shift. So he crosses him up and just slaps the ball the other way for a base hit.
Comes with 2 strikes. He really went down and stayed on that pitch down and away. They're not running for him just yet. But it'd be interesting if he gets to scoring position to see what the move would be. Kevin Pillar with hits in each of his last 2 plate appearances is 2 for 5 this afternoon. Pillar hit the triple off Matt Bowman and went off the top of the wall in right on Tuesday. He would come around to score on the air by the 3rd baseman, Jerko.
A lot of breaking balls from Bowman. Originally a 13th round draft pick of the Mets. He was a Rule 5 draft pick from the New York organization. Fastballs low 90s. And then that good breaking ball.
Bowman is the 4th relief pitcher to work for the Cardinals. Lyons, Broxton, O, and now Bowman. Pillar with the count in his favor. Pulls it on the ground. Jerko at 3rd, second for 1, back to first, double play. So Pillar bounces into the 5-4-3 double play. 4-4. Eric pitched well in the game on Tuesday night and ended up with a no decision. He pitched the 11th inning. Actually, he picked up the win. Oh, he got the save.
He got the save. Grilly got the win. Tepera got the save. They gave up a leadoff hit, but then retired the next 3 batters. So this is Ryan's 9th game. And now a chance to win the game. If he can hold him right here and Blue Jays score. And this is where they have had a lot of problems this year in these close ball games. 1-run games. They've played 10 1-run games already this season, and they're 3-7. 2-run games, they've won 4. They haven't won one of them, or they played 4. They haven't won any of them yet. So 3-11 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs.
The offense obviously has been down to start the season, so that reflects the fact they played so many 1-run games. And today, the bullpen has allowed all 4 runs to score. Matt Latos was good in his start. So Dominic Leone got out of a bases loaded jam, and now Ryan Tepera. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 for the Cardinals. Remember, Randall Grichuk is in the 9th spot. Grichuk has gone 2 for 2 since coming into the ballgame with an RBI single and a 2-run home run. Colton Wong, the 2nd baseman, hits this ball down the right field line. That's a fair ball. Bautista over to cut it off, but Wong is going to head for 3rd. Here's the throw from Devin Travis. It is offline. A leadoff triple for Colton Wong.
There is a lot of area down the right field line. If you can get a ball down into that corner and you can run just a little bit, that is a triple. And that's exactly what Colton Wong does. Turns on that pitch, hits it down into the corner. Jose's got to cut that ball off to try and hold him to that triple, and he does. He gets over there. He knows he's got to get over there and cut that ball off. If it goes off the wall and rattles around, it's a triple for sure. But you can see there's a lot of room down there with the speed of Wong. He's really going to make it easily. Takes a quick look over his right shoulder and says, I can make it to third base, and makes it easily. So it looks like the Blue Jays are going to do what they did already once on this trip, walk a couple of batters.
The Blue Jays used this strategy down in Tampa Bay early in the season in a situation similar to this. In extra innings, they had a couple of intentional walks, and that was with Casey Lawrence pitching. And then Lawrence would eventually walk in the winning run. He walked Brad Miller to end that game. That was on the 8th of April. In that situation, bottom of the 11th, Casey Lawrence started the inning, gave up a double to Malik Smith. Then they bunted him to third, and then they walked Dickerson and Kiermaier. Evan Longoria struck out swinging, and then Brad Miller drew the bases loaded walk. That was the game winner.
For the walk-off walk. I thought they might pitch to Grichuk. I know he's got a couple of hits today, and he's got 3 RBIs, but he's prone for a strikeout. But they'd elect to walk him, then you have to walk Fowler. Now you do that, every play is at the plate. Now everybody's got to shallow up.
Fly ball. Carrera is shallow and left. Wong is tagging up. Carrera will hold Wong at third. 1 out. Diaz going after the first pitch. Flies out to left.
Again, you got everybody shallow. You got the infield in, everything comes to the plate. You also have the outfield in. And the reason you have the outfield in is any line drive that's going to normally fall in, you got to be able to be there to catch it. Because anything over your head, the game's over.
You have to be only as deep as your arm will allow. So you figure out how much you got in arm strength. J.P. Howe.
This is a little delay tactic right here by Russell Martin to give Howe a couple of extra pitches. And here comes Gibby.
John Gibbons has made the call. J.P. Howe was up earlier in the ball game. He should be ready. Tepera surrenders the leadoff triple. Gets Diaz to fly out to left. 1 out. Matt Carpenter, the scheduled batter. It'll be lefty on lefty. J.P. Howe will make his first appearance since coming off the DL. And he is making his first appearance since being activated. He rejoined the ball club here in St. Louis. He's only appeared in 2 games. The last time he pitched April 7th against Tampa Bay.
And in that game, he did not retire a batter. He gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. He also had 2 walks. And you could just tell that something just wasn't right with him. Went on the disabled list the next day with some shoulder problems and some shoulder discomfort. And now he is here in a tight situation. Bases loaded and just 1 out.
Number 3 hitter Matt Carpenter. He has singled, walked, and he's driven in a run. Bases are loaded. Wong is at third. He's the only run that counts. First pitch strike from Howe.
Corners of the infield are coming home on any ground ball. The middle of the diamond, that's Travis and Goins, they're halfway. Softly hit ball, they're coming home. Hard hit ball right at them, they're going to turn a regular double play in the middle of the diamond.
Breaking ball. Good block by Martin. J.P. Howe made 2 rehab appearances, both in Dunedin, Florida, in A-ball, and he threw the ball well. He had 5 strikeouts in 2 innings of work. He threw a lot of strikes, which suggests that he's healthy again.
Didn't he throw the first inning of the one game and struck out the side? Tells you his curveball's back. That's when he's right, when his curveball's got that snap to it.
J.P. Howe certainly not intimidated by the situation. This is his 534th game.
Yeah. He's been in these situations for a long time. I talked to him right after he went on the disabled list the next day, and he said, you know, I hate to do it. I tried to pitch through it. I'm with a new team. I wanted to impress my new teammates. I didn't want to have to go on the disabled list, but I'm not doing my guys any favors going out there the way I felt. He's sitting on a curveball.
J.B. Howell turned 34 years old on Tuesday. One and two. Breaking ball, he wouldn't chase.
I think he's looking for it. They've thrown two fastballs right down the middle, and he's taken both of them.
Can he afford to look for it with two strikes?
I think he can. I think he will. He's a good hitter up there.
Fastball off the plate. Full count, no place to put it. Colton Wong with the leadoff triple. And then a couple of intentional walks, loaded the bases. Diaz flied out to left for the first out of the inning. 3-2. Breaking ball, and that's going to be the ball game. Matt Carpenter has hit his first career grand slam to walk off the Blue Jays here in the 11th. He was sitting on it.
Yes, he was. He was looking for that curveball. Even 3-2, he was still looking for the curveball, and he got it. And the St. Louis Cardinals come all the way back. They were down by 4 runs. They end up winning by 4 runs.
All the runs came off the Blue Jays bullpen this afternoon. Matt Carpenter with his first career grand slam. His 3rd home run of the season. He had a 5 RBI day, and as soon as he hit it, he knew it was gone. A disappointing finish to this ball game. We'll be back with you a little bit later. Game 2 of the split doubleheader. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Now time for Tim and Sid.